Welcome to Martini Time, the happy hour of the day. It's gotten warmer here in Virginia, up in the 40s. Ice is melting. And let me see. Well, the cheap gin isn't that bad. And I also see I need a haircut. But what's been happening today? Well, the news has been, of course, Oprah. I've been writing about Oprah a lot, and I've been writing about the middle way. Somebody asked a question, what's the middle way? And I've been writing about the quest for unity, inclusiveness. The quest for unity is the middle way. So how do you, and people think the middle way, this is Buddha, the middle way. Buddha is the middle way, right? People think or assume that the middle way is harmonizing opposites, like diplomacy. The middle way is not diplomacy. The middle way is creativity. And creativity is a spontaneous eruption of a creative idea that came from nowhere. Aha! Eureka! And with the artist, his body knows it. I was listening on the radio this morning, NPR, and they were talking about some composer who was so surprised because when he got in the zone, he just wrote the symphony out. And where is that coming from? His body just wrote it out. Which reminds me of my mother. Connecting dots. That's the middle way. So my mother had lost her, and I've told this story before, but you may not have heard it. So, my mother had lost her car keys. She was 100 years old and still driving. She knew they were in the house because the car was parked outside, but she couldn't find it. And she said, I would go over there to her house. She lived alone, and she said, I'm going to have a stroke if I can't find these keys. It's driving me crazy. And you know, we've had that experience. You start looking under the same magazine 2, 3, 4 times, hoping that the keys will materialize there, that you didn't see them before. You're going in circles. And it's a feedback loop. Wow, 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 you see. You can't get out of it. It gets worse. Anxiety builds up, panic. She was worried about her health, because when you're 100, your health is kind of fragile. And the next time I saw her, she was happy and thinking, oh, what happened? Well, she said, I just gave it up to God. I said, quit. I can't find it. I quit. You find it. And immediately, she said, I just found myself walking into the bedroom. I had no idea why I was going to the bedroom. I just walked into the bedroom and put my hand in my sweater, and there were the keys. So she didn't get a little voice saying, look in the closet. Her body went there. So that's a creative act in the sense that just like if you sit down and start an artist, you watch an art, you go get your cartoon, get your caricature made. And you're sitting there and the guy's sitting there with the pad and his hand just draws your face. My uncle had that talent. He would say, a piece of paper. He said, put a line on the paper, so anything. You do a little squiggle, and he would make a face out of it. It wasn't like, so his hand knew how to do it. When I write on Facebook, my hands do the writing. When Zorba the Greek, my movie guru, said my feet do the dancing. Who am I to tell them what to do? My body knows what to do. Who am I to tell it what to do? So when we have an artistic, when we get into an art, or an athlete, when they get into the zone, their body knows what to do. Spontaneously. It's almost like they're watching their body do it. So when I write, I watch my hands write. So wow, look what they're doing. I didn't know that. So this is the idea that there's a unity of mind and body. And creativity is going to come from the body when the mind surrenders. See, because the body has that intelligence of the cosmos. The body knows how to run your heart, your lungs, the whole system. The whole organism knows how to run itself. You don't have to tell your lungs how to breathe and how your kidneys how to work and all of that, you see. The only place you can have any control is with your breath. You can slow it down or speed it up, but you can't tell it to quit. You see? So, and this is why in yoga and meditation, the point of interest or focus for the mind is on the breath, because that's where the body and the mind intersect, you see. But anyway, the point here is that the body has an intelligence, and that intelligence is where creativity comes from. It's always going to be in a feeling. It's not going to be in an abstract thought. The feeling comes, and then the abstract thought comes in and works it out, you see. So anyway, the idea here of the middle way is that, and this is my understanding of it, I'm sure there are plenty different ways of looking at it, but I'm speaking from my own experience and the way I understand it from my experience, not just quoting some book or something, although I confess that I've read a lot and I have an accumulation of knowledge, and that it's all stored in there. And so when I speak and use examples and everything, I draw from everything. I don't know where it's coming from, but I mean, it's stored up, but it's a mix. It's kind of like a stew. And you say, oh, I want a carrot, I want a potato or a piece of beef or something, or a piece of shrimp or something like that, you see. It's not like a recipe, it's a mix. So we constantly create ourselves out of a mix. And so I'm kind of like trying to explain the middle way here in various ways. So hang in there with me. But it's also connecting dots, connecting opposites, connecting things that are not connected, that don't appear to be connected. So I was just writing on Facebook. This is where I hang out. And somebody posts a video clip of some kids dancing in the 60s. And they were all, if you watched Mad Men, you could see the transition. In the 50s, everybody danced together. In the 60s, couples separated. Nobody was leading. You kind of like reflected each other a little bit, so you had a partner, but you were doing your own thing. Now, do your own thing. It was the thing in the 60s. And before that, dancing, which is a creative form of humanity, was always couples, or folk dancing, which was like square dancing. You get a group, you see. But the point was, in the couple dancing, which was ballroom dancing, the waltz, you see, Fred and Ginger Rogers, but this was a couple, a relationship. And so I don't know why I'm getting off on this, but anyway, the point was, there is a point, was that I connected the dots, and I looked at the kids dancing as separate, and I remembered the ballroom dancing, and I saw that this was a metaphor for the breakup of male-female relationships. My connection just got dropped, so I'm back. Yep, I'm back. Okay. So I saw this as a metaphor. I connected two opposites. The 60s dancing separate, Fred and Ginger, the ballroom dancing, the waltz, the male leading, the men led the women, and the women liked to be led, and they danced together and in perfect harmony, you see. And now there was little boop, 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 you see, in a semblance of partnership, but in a semblance of keeping time to the music, but everybody's doing their own thing, you see. And so that's happening in the workplace today. Now you have the tradition in the workplace was the man led the woman. She was the secretary. She served a man. Go back to Mad Men. Watch Mad Men again, you see. Women serve men. That was the social relationship. It's all broken up now. Now the question, who's leading? The man lead? The woman lead? separate, they go this way, they go together. It's all kind of like confusing, very disturbing, you see. So to see something like that, you need to connect some dots. And usually, for me, it's through visuals, like video clips or something. So you connect a dot, and you go, oh, I see something. And then you write it out. And when you see something and write it out, your fingers do the writing. That's the middle way for me. It's transcending the pairs of opposites. It's transcending positions. So when I get into a conversation, I like to call them dialogues, is that my opinion, my position, and the other person's position are going boom, 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 you see. But when I relax my position, and I don't get mad at the other person's position, boom, the two positions connect and I get an insight. So I write that insight down. You see, and the insight comes from the transcendence of the two positions. I just invented a word recently on Facebook. I'm ambipositional. I love that. Ambipositional. So I don't get pinned down in any one position and start fighting for it. Although I will discuss it and move it forward, it's always in a dance with the other position. It's always in a dance, you see. And so in the dance, we advance insight and understanding. At least I do. Other people may say, well, I didn't see that before. They may say, you're an idiot. I'm going to defriend you. So in hopes that you don't defriend me, we'll end with that. So practice the middle way. We'll talk some more about that. Thanks for dropping in.